Morning, bloggers. How y'all doing? Y'all alright? Yeah, I want to talk about personal, social, and emotional this morning. So imagine one bottle's your personal, one's your social, and the other one's your emotional. Now imagine someone who's getting, say, like they're getting belittled at work, or they're getting belittled by like family or friends, right? So I want you to imagine if someone's like in a relationship, you feel like the other person's got more power over you or more control over you, like the same like in a job format or in a family or friends, right? Now you continue, say for example, you continue that that bullying or that belittling. This is what's going to happen to them. This is how you're making that person feel. And gradually you're making that person feel weaker and weaker. And that self-esteem, that value in the person, that happiness, basically you're just making them weak. And that, and you all see, that is how it's making that person feel inside. So they've gone from being that whole person, feeling great about themselves, happy about things, but then when you belittle someone, make them feel low, unimportant, upset them, make them feel undervalued, not worthy, that's what you've done to that person. Okay. And then, when the self-esteem is at a real low, and like the bullying is that severe, this is how the person feels on the inside, totally deflated. So they've gone from being that to a full person, happy, to that. And that's how that person's got crushed from that lack of that respect, that lack of dignity, that belittled, that bullying. That's what it's done. From being that to someone whole to that. Now you imagine like the next time like you have a can of pop, for example, and you squeeze it in your hand when you finished it, or you crush it to make it flat so you can go for the recycling. That deep down is how that person is feeling. So next time, just think like the way you're talking to someone, like the way you're behaving. Have a think what effect that is having on that person on the inside. You're making them feel like that. So imagine that as someone's heart or soul, and then imagine it going from that to that. Just because someone's like belittled you or bullied you, not supported you, not feel like you're worthy enough, giving you low esteem. When you get to this stage, this is what leads to anxiety and depression. And there's so many people in the world that are feeling like that. When I want more people in the world to be like this, you know, full of happiness, full of love and abundance. You know, you put out to the world what you want to get back, basically. But you want to be like that. You want to be wholesome. Don't want to be like that. And so many people are living in the world like this because of what I've just been speaking about. Because people have got in their head and crushed them to this, and that is really sad. Another example is when things like that happen. For example, it affects you like your social. So imagine like you being like a real sociable person, and you're like, oh yeah, let's go out, let's go do this, let's go out. Dad's saying, let's go see a movie, let's go skydiving, or let's go watch the football, go watch the rugby, go out on a double date. But then the effect is, with any of them like jobs, relationship, families, when they feel like that, are you going to feel like you want to socialise? You know, oh, if you want to socialise, you'll socialise. But when you're feeling like that, you don't want to go out. You don't want to spend time with people because you feel like that. You feel like you're not worthy enough to people. You feel like you shouldn't matter to people. But at the end of the day, you do. So that's another thing. So yeah, that was your... so basically this bottle here, that's about your... you know, like your depression and your anxiety and your bullying and your belittling. That's what you've done to that person. And then as you want to go and socialise, same again. You're making that person less likely want to go out and socialise. Simply because of how that's made them feel. So the bullying goes on, and you feel like that. When you feel like that, that is how your socialising feels all of a sudden. Like you don't want to go out, like you don't want to get out of bed. So basically you've gone from being this to something completely full to that, and that's crushed from being belittled, from being bullied, from feeling unworthy, and from feeling unloved. When you've got everything going for you, everything in abundance, you feel like that. How is it fair that other people can belittle you and bully you and bring you to that? So you've gone from being belittled to bullied to feel like that, crushed. And now what's that done to your social life? It's made your social life go like that. So from one extreme to the other. So that's your social life. And that's from being bullied, belittled, not feeling loved, feeling unworthy, not appreciated enough. That's the effect it has on a person, on a human being, whether it be a child, whether it be a teenager, whether it be a full-grown adult. That is the effect of people's behaviour will have on people. Crushing them. And that's how that person is feeling inside. If you're feeling like that on the inside, that's pretty naff, innit? It's pretty crap. You don't want to go out, you don't want to do things. And that leads me on to my third bottle. And this is your emotional. So, with all that, and with all that, what if you're feeling trapped and you're suppressing, keeping all your feelings inside, which basically is what's going on in this bottle right now, because all the water in there is keeping everything compressed and inside. But then sooner or later, you're going to pop and the floodgates are going to open and you're going to be bursting into tears and show all this emotional out of nowhere, and people are going to be like, what the hell, what's going on with you, you weren't like this the other day. So it doesn't just affect when someone's belittled you, feel like you're not worthy or loved, that crushes you, and because of that, that leads to you socially not wanting to go outside, not wanting to spend time with people, decline to say it, no, you don't want to do it. And this is your emotional. So bit by bit, by taking the lid off, you're letting your emotions that's trapped in here, inside your body, that the emotions you're feeling for anything, whether it regards to family, old childhood wounds, mental scars, stuff that's happened to you in the past, bullying, belittling, certain stuff can bring to the surface, and they bring those emotions out, bring them tears up, and okay. So slowly, by leaving the lid off and stop suppressing your feelings and letting those emotions out to the people you need to let those emotions out to, you're getting a huge weight lifted off your shoulders, because the more suppressed, the worse it's going to feel, and that build up is gradually going to get worse and worse, and then before you either let out all this anger out and you end up shouting at people that you love and you don't mean to shout at them, or pushing people away that you don't mean to push away. Might be your way of dealing with it, but you got to think about how it's affecting other people. So gradually, that emotion is coming out at the top, and because it's coming out at the top, you gradually letting more and more out, and as you let more and more out and you're releasing, you feel a lot better inside yourself as a person. Everyone's got a good heart, everyone's a good person, but also there's also a lot of people don't always have your best interest at heart, which they don't. Some people can be selfish and only think about themselves, but then you think, right? If you're being selfish, that is how you're making that other person feel. And if you're controlling people or belittling them and bullying them, making them feel unworthy, you're making them feel like this and this, and this is how they're feeling on the inside. That's how a person feels inside. So next time when you think someone's fighting depression or anxiety and want to end their life, this is how they're feeling inside. They're feeling crushed. Now imagine ice going into ice cubes going into an ice maker, and when that thing goes round and it crushes it and makes it smaller to make a cocktail, yeah? Imagine you're that block of ice, and that block of ice is all the inside of you, your heart and your soul, and then it's crushed, and because it's crushed into all those tiny little pieces, and that's how that person is feeling on the inside. So when you let the bottom now, so look, almost you're letting all that emotion out. And when you feel take all that emotion out, you feel a big, massive relief. Everyone needs to do it, yeah. We're all humans, yeah, fair enough. Everyone can have a good cry. Sometimes we need to have a cry to release But you need to think about next time how you're treating someone or what you've done to that person. And if you feel like a sense of guilt, then it's gonna, if that guilt is expressing your feelings, like affecting you emotionally, or if you belittled and not being nice to someone, that's how that person's feeling on the inside. And if you've not belittled anyone, or just like that, but then because of that, what's happened with both of them, that affects them with how they feel socially, that they don't want to go out and do things. So yeah, I know it's been a very long-winded bloggers. I hope you like it. I just want to explain everything in a bit format, but that's my personal, social and emotional. Okay, take care bloggers, love you lots, bye.